Eli, we are here.
Let's,
Let's go. We're
we're
back after
finally
8 days. It's been somewhat an eventful 8 days, but it's also been a bye week. So, obviously, it's been kind of boring too. Um, a good mental break for us on this past Saturday, for being honest. You know,
back. Yeah,
we'd
can't
be what, two and
can't watch
five?
Auburn lose. Yeah, can't watch Auburn lose.
Yeah,
Gives ourselves a nice little break.
nice little break. But we are going back into this Missouri game more confident than ever. So we are we let's see. Got some things to cover today. Obviously we're gonna preview the Missouri game, but no, we're not only gonna do that. We're going to look around the SEC, how the SEC did this week. A lot of crazy games. Again, probably not as crazy as last weekend, but there were some crazy games for sure. And then we're going to do predictions for the SEC next week. Me and Eli have ours in, so we're just gonna be going over those, and then we have a little bit of basketball news that we're gonna be going over. So that is going to be quite interesting. Um, the polls came out. We're gonna dive into those. We're gonna dive into just how Auburn, some things they've been posting, how everything's looking for the Auburn Tigers men's basketball team. And yep, things are looking good for the Auburn for basketball, for sure. Um, it's nice getting to have something to watch that is not Auburn football.
Yeah, we're supposed to be. We're not a football school. To be honest, we're everything else school.
We
So finally
yeah,
ready for something else enjoyable to watch.
yeah,
So,
yeah. This Missouri game is interesting because um Missouri's like, I don't know if they're good. You know what I mean? Because they still have the players that they had last year that went and beat Ohio State for the most part. I don't know. Same coach, same everything.
yeah,
I
you
don't know.
look at them, you kind of wonder why they're not good.
Yeah,
Same team overall. Kind of wondering why it's not working out, but kind of similar to Auburn this
yeah,
year. Kind of still hasn't haven't found out what kind of team they are, their identity,
yeah.
stuff like that. So
What up, Hester? Hester's in here, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you joining us, my boy. Lil bro. Lil Hester. All right. So let's dive into this Missouri game. Um Again, it's an interesting matchup because obviously we have two teams that are still trying to find their identity. One team who went 11-2 last year, had a lot of players come back. Quarterback came back. Head coach is still there. Um, and so they came into this season with a lot of momentum. They were ranked in the top 10, and they got they had a close one with Vandy, and they got curb stomped by A&M. So, obviously, kind of a something that I'm sure Missouri fans were not they were not expecting to happen. And then we've got Auburn, who they had all this hype in the offseason with this gigantic wide receiver class, along with some other recruits. And then they had Peyton Thorne, who is second year in the Hugh Freeze system, expecting this season to go better than it has. We're not expecting to go 2-4 in this first 6 games. So I think this is two teams, one who has found their identity or is closer to finding their identity than the other, that being Missouri. But You know, it could be an interesting game. I think a lot of people will count Auburn out, but I don't know. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. What are your thoughts, Eli?
Yeah, Missouri it is kind of interesting to me. Looking back at the Vandy game, I mean, it's a little more acceptable now. Going back then, it's like, well, Vandy's Vandy. You can't lose to Vandy,
Yeah,
but it's a little, not as bad now. It's still one.
yeah,
And then A&M, that A&M game, it's just throwing me for a loop on how good, bad this Missouri team is. Because I mean, I've seen A&M play. I don't think they are what they looked like in the Missouri game. So it just kind of confuses me with how good they truly are. And I thought they were going to be good too. I thought they were going to be, and most of their fans probably expected playoffs or better. At least
yeah,
top 12. I'm not.
yeah.
They're 19 right now. I think
Nah,
ranked
yeah. They
19.
they have
So
a solid chance at they have a
I
solid
know
chance at
they're.
not making the playoffs.
I know,
So
and their fans are probably expecting maybe not win SEC, but get darn close and at least have a shot with this 12-team playoff.
yeah,
So,
yep,
um,
yep. You say A&M's aren't great, but they might be legit. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, I
they
mean,
worked their way up. I think they started like 25. I don't even know if they were ranked to start the season. I'm pretty sure they were. They've been in the 20 to 25 range. You've watched them play. I mean, they pretty sure the Florida game beat Florida. Um, obviously, curb stomp Mizzou. Worked their way up the rank, number 14. They could be a team that slides in, kind of sneakily slides into one of those higher spots to the playoffs. Um,
yeah, yeah. Well, A&M, they are. I mean, they're technically first in the conference. They're 3-0. Um, they are number 14 in the AP poll. Um, they're 3-0, right in front of Texas, who's 2-0. Um, so I mean, I don't think A&M has proved to us that they are bad. I don't know how good they are. Maybe Missouri's just bad, you know. But I don't know. A&M's an interesting story. That'll be an interesting game whenever it comes up later in the season. Um,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
so
interested to see how their season turns out.
yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll know a lot more about them by then.
Yeah,
SEC play will be a lot deeper in SEC play. Um, but yeah, so Auburn, they are this is their first morning game. They're well Central Time Zone. They'll be playing. Is Missouri in Eastern Time Zone? I'm not sure if they are. They may be, but for Auburn fans, this is an 11 a.m. game, and a lot of Auburn fans may be like, "Ooh," because like Auburn hasn't always played fantastic in 11 a.m. games, at least to my knowledge. Um, but it's a morning game, first game of the year that is a morning game like this. They're going to Memorial Stadium to take on the Tigers of Missouri, and they will be on ESPN. It'll be a close game. I think it'll be closer than what people think it will be. Uh,
yeah,
I think. I mean,
100%.
yeah, Auburn's fresh off a bye week. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. They've had a week of rest. You know, so a lot of guys will be getting back physically, and uh, I mean, this bye week. I mean, perfect, smack dab in the middle of the season. I mean, that's perfect. You know?
Yeah, yeah. You got to look back halfway through. It's like, yeah, it hasn't gone like we wanted to so far, but it's see how we're gonna finish second half, see if we can come back from it. But yeah, going back, I think you said um gonna be closer than a lot of people think. I mean, yeah, your casual fans gonna look, oh, Auburn's 2-4, Missouri ranked 19, whatever, solid record. I mean, we're not a 2-4 team like we've been saying. We're not a 2-4 team.
Yeah.
Or your casual 2-4 team. Um, really could have one or two losses, just dumb, stupid mistakes. But yeah, we're not 2-14, so that's why I really think this game's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I've got some stats that I wrote down that we can kind of look at. Um, statistically, um, Missouri is slightly better than Auburn. They average Missouri averages 33.5 points a game, while Auburn averages 30. Um, for on third down, Auburn's 41%, Missouri is 50%. Um, 4.9 yards per rush for Missouri, and Auburn's averaging about 5.3 yards per rush. Now, the one thing about that stat is I think it was the Monday presser with Hugh Freeze. This guy brought up something interesting. He brought up this interesting stat, and it was that Auburn has the fewest. Excuse me. Let me get water. Sorry.
You good?
But Auburn has the fewest amount of run plays in the in the SEC. I'm tripping. Let me say it. Auburn has the fewest amount of run plays in the SEC. So you can look at that two ways. All right, bro. I need to lock in. All right. Okay. So yeah, Auburn, they got the fewest run plays in the SEC. They average the fewest run plays in the SEC. They average, or they may have the fewest. I'm not sure. He was kind of vague on that, but you can kind of look at that and be like, well, does that make the 5.3 yards per rush stat almost invalid? Because all these other teams that have lower yards per rushes, it's because they're rushing the ball more, you know? So I almost that almost makes me think that the 5.3 yards per rush would be a lot lower if you're running the ball like your powerhouse SEC team. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it would probably be a little lower, but at the same time, you got Jarquez in the backfield, and he's
That is
averaging
true.
like
That is true.
I think a little more than 5.3, 6 or 7. I think I haven't checked, but I mean, yeah, for sure. I think it would go down a little. I think it would still be close to the 5 range, but I still don't think it matters when you got Jarquez in the backfield, who I think is best back in the SEC. Not biased, of course, though.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean he is. He is. But that Georgia running back he's the stuff, dude. He is not
Yeah.
bad. He's shifty too, bro. He's making guys miss like crazy. He's a dog. Ha, get it. Sorry. Anyways, so Auburn, they are averaging 444 yards per game, while Missouri's averaging 434 yards per game. So they're kind of neck and neck with them in yards per game. I don't know that the passing percentage is about the same. Missouri has 66, Auburn has 60. Now one stat that is season changing for Auburn right here. And when I say season changing, you probably like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Missouri has one interception on the season. One interception. Auburn has 9. Okay? They have 4 against what? 4 against Cal, right? And 4 against Arkansas. And then 1 against Oklahoma. Yeah.
Not good.
No, that's bad, dude.
And
That I mean how okay. How do you think what do you think Auburn's record is if we have no interceptions right now? Or maybe 1.
no intercept. I would say 0 to 2 interceptions, so not a lot. You got to assume we win the Cal game.
Yep.
We were given so many opportunities, and we just didn't take advantage. Probably
Yep.
assume we win the Arkansas game too. I mean, 3 interceptions
Yes.
in the first half. Also, a fumble in the red zone in the Arkansas game. Just got to see we win that game. And I mean, we probably could win the Oklahoma game, depending on when those picks are. If Peyton Thorne still does that pick in the Oklahoma game, we could probably win the Oklahoma game too. So
Yeah,
I would say it minimum or maximum two losses and minimum, 5-0 up until the Georgia game.
yeah, yeah. And that has us sitting at 5-1 right now. We're probably ranked. That would be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
I mean, dude, it's crazy to think that we are 9 turnovers away from being a ranked team right now,
yeah,
and that's a lot. But then again,
yeah,
that's close. You know.
yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a lot. Not turnovers. That's a lot, but it's really not. It's really not.
I mean, you fix the turnovers and I don't know. Like you make sure. I guess you do a better job at emphasizing protecting the ball in fall camp and leading up and you know protecting the ball. And we don't have all those turnovers. I mean, dude, we're 5-1. We're probably ranked in the 20s because we lost to Georgia. Probably shot us down a little bit. So we're probably ranked in the 20s, maybe. I don't know. We may not be ranked after beating Oklahoma. I don't know.
Yeah, I would
But
say we are.
yeah,
We're probably, they say, oh, you're the 20s, and we're a team that could potentially, with a good rest of the season, probably winning out after Georgia, or maybe one loss, have a run at the playoffs. With none of
I
these
mean, dude,
turnovers.
it's a that is a realistic take that we win out, lose, go into Tuscaloosa and lose, um, have a 2-loss season. I would say we barely missed the playoffs. I would say we missed the playoffs. I don't think we make the playoffs. Um, but we make it to a high level, like a higher stakes bowl game. Playing a better
Mm-hmm.
team, and we potentially have a 2-loss season. You know,
Yep, yep. Good for
and
recruits and good
yeah,
for hope going into the next season.
yeah. Of course, I don't think we got to worry about recruiting, but
Yeah,
yeah. So Auburn, Missouri, it'll be a close game. Obviously we hope we win, but you know, and I mean it'll be a tough one. Missouri is obviously it's an SEC school. It'll be a tough place to play. You cannot walk in there expecting to win, which I don't think we are. I think we'll be confident, but I don't think we'll have a mentality that we're playing a team that we're supposed to beat. No, I think we'll be locked in. I think that Hugh will have the team ready, and I think it'll be a close game.
yeah.
I don't know. What do you? How are you feeling about it?
First off, you on first name basis with you there? Just what I thought of.
Uh, I don't
Yeah,
know why I
but
said that.
I just hear it. But yeah, you can't, any SEC going into any SEC like away game, and you can't expect to like you own the place like it's your field. You got to
Yeah,
be ready for anything. And I wouldn't say we're experienced with away games. So we've had one, but we probably had one of the toughest ones so far. So I would say
yep,
we're more experienced now. We're more battle ready than we would be, like not last week, 2 weeks ago, going into Georgia. Um, so yeah, I think it's for a little more battle ready going into this week.
yep. It'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Um. So next up, we have. Hold on. Let me say this real quick. Okay. All right. So next up, we have around the SEC. So eventful week in the SEC. Um, had 2 overtime games, which were both crazy games, dude. Crazy games. I mean, they were so fun to watch. Um, so we'll be getting into those, and then we had let's see, do we have any upsets? We had some close ones, but I mean, no, like actual upsets. Um,
Yeah, Vandy,
so
Kentucky. depending on what side to look at that.
Yeah,
At Kentucky, I believe as well. So
yeah. We'll start with that. So Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Vanderbilt beats Kentucky. Kentucky's now 1-3 in the SEC, 3-3 overall. Vanderbilt moves to 4-2. They're 2-1 in the SEC. They beat Kentucky at Kentucky 20-13. So pretty much dominated the game. Kentucky scored one time in the second quarter. Vanderbilt scored a touchdown first two quarters, and then the field goal in the last two quarters, and they ended up coming up on top. Um, let's see. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I mean, from the stats, it looks like Vanderbilt controlled the game the whole time.
yeah,
Um, I mean, does this look? I mean, what does this tell you? Does it tell you that Vanderbilt is better than we thought, or Kentucky is just bad?
I would say it shows to be able to go into an SEC away, an opposing team's SEC stadium and win. I mean, I think Vandy's better than we expected. And, they're not just a fluke that beat Bama. You know, like everyone expected. Oh, they're still Vandy. Jay just got Bama's number. Um, I think it shows not that they're going to win the SEC or anything, but and nearly winning that Mizzou game. They could be sitting at 3-0 in the SEC.
They
But
could be, dude.
I don't think Kentucky is that bad. They have a really good defense.
Yeah,
Maybe a little worse than expected, but I think Vandy's just a little better than we expected
yeah.
so far.
Kentucky had, I mean, they had all three pass rush and reception leaders for the game. Their quarterback threw for 158 yards. So I guess that means that Vanderbilt's quarterback didn't throw for a lot, did he?
I guess not.
I guess not. Let's see. Let's see.
They didn't score too many points, 20 points. But again,
It was
Kentucky's
20.
defense is very good.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Shoot, I can't pull it up. I think those aren't the game leaders. But yeah, I mean, if the passing leaders were 158 yards, that probably means that defense was big key factor in this game. So, you know, if that's the case, usually that means that the more physical team's gonna win. Um, and if that's the case for Vanderbilt, that's either a really bad sign for Kentucky or that's huge for Vanderbilt. I don't know. That's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. All right, we can move on to let's see. We'll talk briefly on this one. Missouri and UMass. They are bad.
Yeah.
Missouri beat them 45-3. Um, moved on to 5-1 overall, 1-1 in no, that's not right. That's not right. Yeah, well, they're 5-1 overall. Um, going back into SEC play this week. Um, they threw for 215 yards, ran the ball for I think that's 50 yards maybe, right? 90 yards. I think it was 90 yards. Three rushing touchdowns, two passing touchdowns. Signing, it's UMass. They're gonna dominate that game. They got
Yeah.
they got real competition coming up this weekend. Um, and then next game we got this was a crazy game. So we got Florida and Tennessee. This was an interesting game. Had me on my toes, to say the
Mhm.
least. Florida loses to Tennessee 23-17. They fall to 3-3 on the season, 1-2 in the SEC. Tennessee moves up to 5-1, 2-1 in the SEC, and they are ranked number 8, I believe. That may be wrong. I believe they're number 8 though. Alabama. Well, I don't know why I moved on to that. We're not even there yet. But um, they passed for 170 yards, ran for 115 yards. So I mean, offensively, they were looking. The run game was looking solid. Pass game kind of been hyped up for it was hyped up. They got their prodigy quarterback. Uh, he is a freshman. Wait, is he a freshman?
I think he's he might be a redshirt freshman. I'm pretty sure he was on campus last year. He might be a freshman though. I don't know. I'm not sure.
He may not be a freshman, but yeah, passing game has just not been there. For Tennessee.
There's some people. One of the ESPN analysts, whatever, said he was the best player in college football.
Who, Nico?
At the beginning of the season, yeah. But or said he would be it next year. It might be next year, but yeah, he's just been a little underwhelming these past. Obviously lost to Arkansas. Didn't play too good. They lost the last play, kind of pretty dumb play, but in the Arkansas game. But I mean, he's just kind of been underwhelming.
Yeah, he has.
The games.
Whole offense has been underwhelming, except for the run game. I mean, it's against Florida it was decent, but yeah.
And defense has been showing up pretty good.
Dude, Florida, man, they're going through their gauntlet of a schedule. Surprised they're not 3-3 is not terrible. It's better. Yeah. It's better than Auburn, and I guarantee you they've played harder teams than Auburn has.
Yeah,
they've won more SEC games than Auburn.
There's a chance they win 3 games at the beginning of the season. You look at their schedule for the entire year, so not doing too bad right now.
Yeah, I mean, if their head coach comes out and they finish the season 7-6 or 8-5, they can't get rid of him. That's a crazy good record.
Yeah.
So it was expected for Florida to lose, but wasn't expected to be this close, to be honest. I think that's a good sign for Florida. Could be a bad sign for Tennessee. I feel like Tennessee, obviously they lost to Arkansas last week, so that's kind of a not a good look. Was it? Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, not a good look for Tennessee coming off an upset to barely beat Florida.
But does this change your opinion on Tennessee being a playoff and a national title contender?
I don't think they're national. I don't think they are.
You think they make the playoff?
Well, that means they have to be top. They have to be top 2 in the conference.
I believe they are ranked number 11
right now.
They're number 11 right now.
Yeah, they were number 8 in the game against Florida, and they moved down. Mm-hmm. Or moved up. Moved down. But yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Tennessee's weird. I mean, they always have hype coming into the season, and I feel like past few years they've been underwhelming. They had that one really big year when they beat Alabama. But I don't know. They're weird. I don't know. Because you have to be top 2 in the SEC, right? To make the
yeah. They got rid of divisions in the SEC.
I mean, Texas is a freebie, I feel like, and then I feel like Georgia and Bama. I don't think they're bad. I think they make it over Tennessee or Ole Miss or Missouri.
Yeah,
but I don't think Missouri's in the conversation anymore, unless they went out. Maybe I don't know.
Unless they beat Bama, I don't know. They got Bama on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, that'll put Bama at 2 conference losses, so that'll knock Bama out probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Interesting game. It was an entertaining game though. And then we will talk about our other overtime game. The Lane Kiffins went against LSU in Baton Rouge at night. That's the one place you don't want to be at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. The
Yeah,
worst place to be. I mean, Death Valley is it. Regardless of how good LSU is, Death Valley is not a place you want to go into at night ever.
yeah. Just like Jordan Hare, Auburn can be really sucky and then just surprise you because it's at home, but it's amplified for LSU because Death Valley is
Yeah,
insane. So
yeah. Jordan Hare's gonna have to lock in
yeah,
there.
step up their game.
Yeah. But let's see. So Ole Miss, they fall to LSU in overtime, 29-26. Uh, Ole Miss drops to 5-2 on the year, 1-2 in the SEC. LSU goes up to 2-0 in the SEC, and they are 5-1 on the year. Um, really did not look bad. I mean, golly, is that quarterback Nussmeyer? Is that how you say it? Nussmeyer? Did he throw for 500
Uh,
yards or was that 300 yards?
that's definitely 300.
300? There's no way he
Okay.
threw for 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 yards. Okay. Yeah, threw for 300 yards. Um, they rushed the ball, ran the ball for 107. Ole Miss ran the ball for 170 yards. That was, I mean, obviously they. I mean, I think if you're in Ole Miss wins that game, and it's just it kind of goes back and forth. I think those are very
Yeah.
even teams
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, they played 10 times. They probably split that series.
Yeah,
They're
it'd
very
probably be 5-5.
just like last year. I forget the final score. Insanely close game. I think Ole Miss won. I believe so. I may be mistaken. Last year, really close game, really good game too.
Yeah.
Jane Daniels went off. So
Yep. Man, Jay Daniels, he was a dog. He was
it's
a
pretty
dog.
random. I was thinking about it earlier, like a week or two ago, where I remember it happened one game. So I was scrolling through the games. It was a Florida game where Jane Daniels had 600 yards by himself. He had 300 or something passing and 200 something rushing. It was
That is
insane.
ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
That is ridiculous.
but pretty random. So, but
Yeah.
whatever his name, I don't do not Nussmeyer or whatever.
Nussmeyer,
He
yep.
played pretty good, but he's got a two quarterbacks before him. So
Yeah. He's got a legacy. Well, the school has a legacy that he's got to.
yeah,
All right. So next up, we have another very interesting one. South Carolina and Alabama. Alabama barely comes on top. 27-25, they moved to 5-1 on the season, 2-1 in the SEC. South Carolina drops to 3-3 in the 3-3 on the season, 1-3 in the SEC. Really had us thinking that they could win. I mean, there is a crazy catch with not like 40 seconds to go in the game, and then they recover the onside kick, and it's like, oh shoot, South Carolina is gonna go and take it to the 20-yard line and kick a field goal and win the game in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama's about to be 5-2.
yeah.
That would have been the first time Alabama has lost 2 games in a row since 2007. First time.
Really? What
Yep.
what year did Saban get there? Was that the year Saban got there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mm, mm.
Yep. Crazy
Interesting,
stuff,
but
man.
yeah, I was thinking they go 5-2. They're not making the playoff.
I mean, they're not. I mean, they're pretty much kicked out unless some crazy
Yeah,
stuff happens in the SEC. But
yeah,
yeah, uh, passing leader was Sellers, South Carolina's quarterback, threw for 238 yards, 2 touchdowns. Uh, the rushing leader was Sanders, South Carolina's running back, ran for 78 yards and a touchdown. And then the receiving leader was Bernard. on Alabama. He had 89 yards, 4 receptions, and a touchdown. I didn't really dive too much into the stats for this game, but the score says that it was a close game. I don't know. How did you watch this game?
I watched the end of it, and I was really thinking. I think I turned it off and I turned it back on, and they had the ball. So they got the onside kick. I didn't see them get the onside kick, and I'm really thinking they're gonna go kick this field goal, and they're gonna win by 1 point.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy, and Bama's not making the playoffs. So
Would have been fantastic, bro. Would have been
uh,
amazing.
but so now I'm looking at the rest of Bama's schedule. I mean, if they keep playing like this, they have at Tennessee this week. Then they go play Missouri at
Woo!
home. Then they have to go to Death Valley and play, and then at Oklahoma and play Auburn and Mercer. But
Yeah, dude, they
so
got Auburn. I mean, it's in Tuscaloosa, but they got Auburn, bro.
I don't know, best team in the nation.
Yeah, that'd be a close game
But
for sure.
yeah,
A really, really close one.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, Alabama, South Carolina, very close game. Almost got the result we wanted, but we end up, uh, and Alabama ends up coming on top. So, uh, next up, we got Georgia and Mississippi State. Georgia comes out on top, wins by 10 points. Now, this was in Mississippi State, but Mississippi State is not good at all. At all. You shouldn't. The final score was 41-31. You should not be letting a team like Mississippi State score 31 on you. Now, Georgia does have Texas next week, or this coming up week. So you can argue that they were looking forward to that game. But I don't know. That's not a good sign. We'll see how they play this weekend. We'll see. I don't know. Georgia moves to 5-1 on the season. Lots of 5-1 teams in the SEC right now. 3-1 in the SEC. They were number 5 when they played. I'm not sure what the record is now. Not record, but ranking. Not sure what they are ranked now. Mississippi State. They they are now 1-5 on the season. Could be worse for us Auburn fans. Could be worse.
yeah,
They are 0-3 in the SEC, just like Auburn. Almost came away the upset to Georgia. Yet they also didn't because they lost by 10. But
yeah. This
let's.
this game was really random to me because I turned it off. I
Oh
actually didn't
yeah,
even watch it.
it's so
I checked the
random.
score. I just like checking the score. It was well, I'm looking at it says it's 37-10 at halftime. I quit watching the game. Or
Yeah,
20 days, that's 27-10, sorry. 27-10 at halftime. I was not watching this game. Look at the final score, they won by 10. And it's really random. Um,
yeah.
so
27-10 at halftime. They scored 14 in the third quarter. So it was 21 to. I don't know. They were down. They were still down 2 scores in the third quarter, but I guess Georgia had control of the game the whole time, but they weren't dominating. Now Carson Beck, he did throw for 460 yards, 3 touchdown passes. I mean that's big numbers.
yeah,
That's
especially for the Georgia fans that were hating on him for the Bama game.
yeah, yeah. There were a few. But yep, Georgia comes out on top, and that one. Let me get some water real quick. Okay. And then finally, we got the Red River rivalry. The first time that we get to say that this is an SEC game. Another big rivalry added to the best conference in the country. We had Texas and Oklahoma. Texas comes out, absolutely pounds Oklahoma, dude. Destroyed them. They beat them 34-3. Texas moved to 6-0 on the season, 2-0 in the SEC. Oklahoma is now 4-2, 1-2 in the SEC. Oklahoma only scoring one field goal in the first quarter to go up 3-0, and then Texas scored 34 unanswered points. Quinn Ewers threw for 199 yards and a touchdown. They ran the ball for 100. The running back ran the ball for 118 yards, one touchdown, and they had a tight end with 5 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. So Texas had all the pass rush and receiving leaders for the game. Pretty. That's a big win for Texas, regardless of how it wasn't close. That is a big rivalry, and those are two schools that hate each other.
Yeah, I think this just shows Texas is the consensus number one team in the nation. Nobody's
Yep.
taking the spot, whatever. Quinn Ewers, he did look a little, like uncomfortable for the first part of the game, and then he kind of settled in.
Yeah. Of course, was that not his first game back?
Yeah, it was. So.
Yeah. So that can be expected. You don't want it next week though, because Texas has a big game next week.
Yep.
Yup. That's it. That's a big one for Texas, man. Good for them. They are the only undefeated team in the SEC, I believe. And they have some momentum going for them headed into the Georgia game. So, big game for them. Obviously, a eventful weekend in the SEC, as always. And yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out this coming up weekend. We'll see if Texas stays undefeated. We'll see. All right. All right. So for our SEC predictions, me and Eli have all the SEC games listed out, and we have picked. We didn't do score predictions, so we have picked who we believe will win. The games that we have is obviously we have Auburn and number 19 Missouri. We have South Carolina at Oklahoma, both unranked. So Oklahoma is no longer ranked after losing this weekend. We have number 7 Alabama at number 11 Tennessee. A very loud and scary environment. Now it is not a nighttime game. It'll be at 2:30. So that's good for Alabama. Number 14 Texas A&M at Mississippi State. Number 8 LSU at Arkansas. Ball State at Vanderbilt. Number 5 Georgia goes to number 1 Texas, and Kentucky goes to Florida. So we have some doozies this week. Eli, I'll let you start with your predictions. Or how about this? We'll go game for game. We'll both put both of our predictions for each game.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Do you want me to throw out a random score prediction or not? Because I can. But.
No. I mean, we can just say if the game will be semi-close or not.
Yeah. Okay, starting off Auburn and Missouri. I think it's going to be a close game. Similar to the Oklahoma game, I believe. But I do truly think I'm just not biased. I mean, maybe a little biased, but I watched all the Auburn games. I see how good they can be. And so I do think Auburn will win this game in a very close game. Maybe a one score like the Oklahoma game. But I'm just not sure about Missouri. I mean, you can't tell from the UMass game. I mean, they haven't just dominated all season. Beat Boston College by one score. Beat Vandy by one score, obviously. I I just don't know how good they are. So I think Auburn will win this.
Yep. I agree with you. Now I might be a little biased, but I have valid points for why I think Auburn is going to win. I think that this is, like you mentioned, this is going to be kind of similar to the Oklahoma game, except they are not at home. So that is obviously a big advantage for Missouri. But the difference between, well, not really. We kind of had the turnovers figured out by the Oklahoma game. Um, but I don't know. I mean, we'll get another chance to go at a team that's been kind of on the downward trend. Um, not in terms of results for one of the games, but in terms of what their fans expect, the kind of domination that their fans expect. It's not what they've been providing. So Missouri, obviously, I feel like they are upset prone again. I think that Auburn could um, walk in. I think that Peyton Thorne, if he's locked in, he could throw the ball, sling that ball around to Keandre Lambert Smith, get him a few tutties, maybe get Cam Coleman involved. Obviously, he's freshman, but he's a stud. Um, he's got some weapons. Got the best running back in the SEC, arguably the best running back in the SEC. So lots of weapons on offense. Obviously, the defense, we've got one heck of a defensive coordinator, man. He's been doing a great job. And then, the defense in general has not been doing bad at all. So I think that as long as we can stop the electric Missouri uh, offense, specifically the receivers, and the offense can go down and score a little bit, we have a great chance of winning this game. So I've got Auburn in this one.
Yep, I agree. Okay, next up, South Carolina and Oklahoma. I actually have South Carolina going into Oklahoma and winning this game. Um,
Okay.
Obviously, nearly beat Bama, nearly beat LSU. I don't know if you remember that game. It was a 3-point game. Um, and curb stomped Kentucky. I think they're a little better than give them credit for, and I think they're just. I mean, Oklahoma's obviously they're pretty good,
Yeah.
but um, I don't know. I just feel like South Carolina is going to be clicking all cylinders, and I think they go into Oklahoma with a little momentum. You got to take that Bama game as a lot of positives. Sure, you didn't win it, but you got to take some positives going in that game. So I do think they go into Oklahoma and win this game.
Okay. Well, this is the first one that we don't agree on. I think Oklahoma beats South Carolina. I think that the Oklahoma defense will just be too much for the South Carolina offense. Um, to be honest, I'm not too sure how good South Carolina's defense is. You obviously don't have to be fantastic to stop Oklahoma's offense, but I don't know. It's also in Oklahoma, obviously, so that had a little influence in my pick, and I think I think Oklahoma is just. I think they're a little. I don't know. I think that they're gonna win this game. I don't know. It's just kind of a feeling. I don't know. Obviously we did play them, but I don't know like a ton about Oklahoma, or South Carolina. But just from what I looked at, I think that Oklahoma will come out on top for this one.
Yep, I think it'll be a close game though, really good game.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
but next up, we got Bama and Tennessee, number 7
Woo!
versus number 11. Big playoff implications, I believe, because you got to think if whoever loses this game, it'll probably be tough on them to make the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
But at Tennessee, I think if Nico is doing his thing, the offense is working. They have a really good defense. So I think if the offense can just do the thing, and Nico can have a good game, have a big game. The run game solid too. I think Tennessee takes this one. So
Yep.
what do you think?
I've got Bama winning this one. I've got them going into old Rocky Top and taking the Volunteers down. I think that the Bama defense locks in, unlike they have yet this season. I think that the Tennessee offense, the struggle bus continues for them, and I think that Jalen Milroe locks in and leads his Crimson Tide to a good victory in against Tennessee. I think it's really just going to be a matter of will the Alabama defense step up or will the Tennessee offense step up? Because obviously Alabama's offense isn't bad. They have Jalen Milroe. Um, they have Ron Williams. So obviously they've got two studs. Um, they obviously probably have more. I'm just not. I haven't named, but I think Alabama, and I think they are road trained. I think Jalen Milroe's a vet. He Now Ron Williams is not. Uh, so we'll see. We'll see how he does going into an environment like that. But yeah, I think that Alabama's offense will be too much for Tennessee's defense and struggling offense. So I've got Alabama coming up on top.
Yep, I think the matchup between Bama's offense and Tennessee's defense could be a good one. Um, but next up, we got A&M and Mississippi State. Mississippi State's the worst team in SEC. No way to put it lightly. Though they were close to, and they were close to Texas, were they not? Was that the team that was kind of close to Texas? Um,
Mississippi State.
yeah,
They were close to Georgia.
not like yeah. Man, I don't care to look it up. I thought they were close to Texas. Maybe I really don't think it matters. It's at Mississippi State. I just think A&M is looking really good so far. Mississippi State is not. I don't think A&M takes it.
Yeah, Texas beat State by 35 to 13. So
Yeah, yeah.
may have been closer than the score shows, but let's see. A&M, Mississippi State. This is a no-brainer for me. I got A&M winning this game. A&M's got a ton of momentum. Mississippi State does not. Um, like you said, State is the worst in the SEC. A&M is arguably one of the better teams in the SEC. So, we'll see how it plays out. But I've got A&M winning this game.
Yep. A&M right now number one in the SEC actually because they've played the most conference games and won them all.
Yep.
But next up, number 8 LSU going to Arkansas.
Yep.
I think it'll be a little closer than some people think. I do have LSU winning.
Yep.
LSU looked good last week. So, Arkansas might give them a run for their money. They did Tennessee, obviously.
Yep.
But I still think LSU takes this game.
LSU is looking more like a better LSU team that we are familiar with. You know what I mean? Like a competitive LSU team, not an LSU team that is way overrated. Well, not way overrated, but pretty overrated, like we have seen. I think LSU is a lot better. In terms of just all around. And then Arkansas, they're a scrappy team. I think that, they will not get killed. But I think LSU is going to come out on top of this one. I think that I just think LSU's got too much momentum heading into this Arkansas game. I think they are ready for Arkansas. I think they know Arkansas is not a bad team. Yeah. So I've got LSU winning probably about a few scores in this one.
Yep, and I think if LSU wants to make a good run to playoffs, they got to be able to go into Arkansas and win.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, LSU they've always been that kind of 9-10 win team, always in the rank from 7 to 15 range. So I think another team that will benefit from the 12-team playoff. But next up, Ball State versus Vandy are a team out because there's 15 teams in the SEC, so they can't play each other each week. not much to talk about here. I think Vandy wins, but it would be really stinking funny if Vandy, beats Bama, beats Kentucky, and loses to Ball State because they've lost to
Ha.
Georgia State so far.
Yeah.
But it's at Vandy, and I think there might be a chance they're paying Ball State, but I bet not. I think Vandy wins this one.
Yeah. I agree with you. Um, I think that Vanderbilt will win this. I think they'll win it. Win it. I think they'll win it by a comfortable margin, but it would totally be Vanderbilt to lose. You know. But I think they're on too much of an uptrend to lose this one. I think they're a better team than we have them set out to be. They've got a stud of a quarterback, underrated. Actually beat Auburn last year in a game, probably the worst loss in Auburn history. Um, but he's always been he's a good quarterback, just knows how to win, and I think he'll win this game against Ball State.
Yep. I don't know if they're paying them to play them, but is Vandy even good enough to pay a team to play them? Um,
I don't know.
but I'm
Maybe,
actually gonna say,
maybe.
I'm actually gonna say this next game for last. But next up we have Kentucky and Florida. I think it'll be a good game. Kentucky going to Florida.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Kentucky's looked solid, lost to Vandy, nearly beat Georgia. Um, they have a really good defense, but I think Florida wins this one. I don't know, it's at home, DJ Lagway.
Yep.
I think Florida will take this one.
Yep. I agree with the Florida wins. I think Kentucky, the swamp is too much for them. I think that this is probably Bill Napier's must-win game. This is one of the lower end teams that they're gonna play. So I think that this is circled. I think this is a game that they have got to win because this is the closest they're getting to a freebie. Now, I'm not saying it is a freebie. It's not. Kentucky's a decent football team. But I think that Florida will be ready, and I think they'll win this game for sure.
Yep. Yeah, this is the closest you're gonna get to a freebie. Just played at Tennessee.
Yep.
Then you got next week at Georgia, then at number one Texas, then LSU at home, Ole Miss at home, and then at Florida State. So you're about to go through an absolute gauntlet.
Yeah.
Praying for you, Florida fans, but yeah, I think it's a must win for Florida. And then last and finally, Georgia and Texas at Texas, potential game of the year. Um,
Potential.
but but I just think Texas has looked so good. I think Georgia slightly inconsistent.
Yep.
A great game versus Bama. I think Georgia's still Georgia. I think they will be prepared for this game. I think it will be a good game.
Mhm.
I still think Texas has just looked so dominant, and I think Texas is gonna win it.
Yep. Um, I agree. Texas wins. I think, you can argue for both teams that they have been inconsistent. Georgia, obviously, um, they were down 28-0 to Bama at one point. Getting stopped by their offense was being stalled by a Bama defense that was not great. Um, and then obviously they had a semi-close game with Mississippi State. Then they game with Texas. You could say, oh well, it wasn't as close as we scores, or it was closer than the score said. But Texas was sloppy against Oklahoma. So you can kind of argue for both teams that there's a little bit of sloppiness, a little bit of inconsistency. But Texas undefeated, number one. They've got Quinn Ewers, they got Isaiah Bond, they've got all these studs. And let's say Quinn Ewers gets hurt, they got Arch Manning. So like they got a jam packed roster, full of talent. I think Texas, um, they got a good coach. They obviously Georgia does too, but you know, I think Texas comes out on top on this one for sure.
Yeah, I think it also depends on what Quinn Ewers are we gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, he still played good last week. But I think it was a little more sloppy, a little more rusty than he looked weeks prior before he got injured.
Yeah.
So I think if Quinn Ewers is playing like we know he can play, then I think Texas wins,
Yep.
obviously.
I agree. I agree. Um. Yep. I will be right back. I'm gonna go get some more water.
Okay. Sounds
Um.
good.
Yeah. Take me like 30 seconds. But
Okay.
I'll just put it on you for a second.
Okay.
You can talk about whatever.
Yeah. I could look go you some more water too. Should I go get some more? He's already gone. Okay, sweet.
All right. As we wait for Eli to get back. um. Man, dude, I'm coughing like crazy. Need some water. I was running out. Running out. Let's see. Um. So we talked about week 8. We had a week 8 predictions. Talked about the SEC a lot. Went over the Missouri game. Um. Lots of stuff going on right now in the SEC. It's. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, we got. I don't know. I feel like the good teams in the SEC right now are not as good as we expected them to be, and the bad teams are not as bad as we expect them to be. It feels a lot more even. You know what I mean? Um, we got Eli back. Um, just SEC, man, it's brutal. It's brutal this year for sure. All right, last thing we're gonna talk about before we call it is some basketball. Bruce Pearl cooked up an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. Absolute gauntlet. Um, a lot of big games we've got. Obviously, we have the exhibition game against FAU on November the 1st, which will be great. And I'm loving these big games. This is what our schedule would be if Gus Malzahn was a basketball coach and he coached at Auburn. Like this is what it would be. Um, but we are going to I don't know if it's at Houston or if it's neutral. But we play Houston, number 4. We play Iowa State, who's number 5. We play number 7 Duke, and we play number 14 Purdue. And that is before conference play, you know? So I mean that is some big teams going into conference play. Normally we don't have not worst case scenario we'd lose all 4 of those games. I don't remember the last time we had 4 losses going to SEC play. But I really don't think that'll matter because I think that these games will almost get us ready for SEC play, and I think we will be probably one of the best teams that we've had in a long time. Simply because we played a lot of talent. A lot of talent.
Yeah.
So
A lot of time in the SEC.
yeah, yep. So the reason we kind of bring up basketball is because the preseason polls came out, and there were some interesting rankings. We had All right. So we had let's see. Some notable ones were Kansas, obviously at number 1, Alabama at number 2. Obviously they got Aiden Holloway, transfer from Auburn, former 5-star. Then
Couldn't
UConn
shoot a
at
basketball to save his life.
no, he could not. And he couldn't at the summer camps either, because we watched that.
Yeah.
That was rough. Um, then we got UConn at number 3, Houston at number 4, which we play.
Yep.
Iowa
And
State at number 5.
I double checked it, by the way. We do play
Heck
at
yeah.
Houston, at Iowa State, and at Duke.
That's insane. That is actually crazy. Now, Purdue is a neutral game, right?
No, I mean, it said it was at Auburn.
Oh, is that Auburn?
Yeah.
Shoot, I thought it was like maybe in Birmingham. I don't know. So yeah, we played number 4 and number 5 on the preseason AP Top 25. And then Gonzaga is number 6, Duke is 7, and we also play. Baylor's 8, North Carolina is 9, Arizona is 10. We are at number 11. Tennessee is number 12. So we're ranked higher than Tennessee this year. Let's see. Arkansas is number 16. They got what's his name? What's his face? Who's their coach? Kentucky coach. Why am I going blank? This happens when you don't watch basketball.
It's been too long. I'm ready for basketball season.
I'm telling you. Calipari. That's right. They got Calipari. So, obviously he had to freaking rebuild the team from the ground up because they literally did not have a roster last year. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there was like one player on the entire team.
Yeah.
He walked in to have a meeting with the team, and there was like one guy there.
Yeah. I wonder how that feels as a coach. Like walking in, you're just having a one-on-one conversation because you don't have a team.
Yep.
So, I mean, that is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. But hey, I mean, if they got them at number 16 in the AP Top 25 preseason, probably means he was cooking up in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We'll see how they are. And then Texas is number 19, Florida's number 21, Kentucky's number 23. They're probably gonna shoot. They're probably gone. I don't know. They don't have who's their coach now. Who's Kentucky's coach? Yeah. Mark Pope. I don't know who that is. Shoot. I don't know. Mark Pope. He's a guy, and he's a coach.
I guess we'll see how it goes for them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they are a basketball school, so I mean, they will probably find a way to be decent this year. Then Ole Miss is number 24. They are Alan Flanagan graduated, right? He was at Ole Miss.
Yeah, probably.
I believe he graduated. Yeah, he did. Alan Flanagan, he was a senior last year. Played his 5th year of basketball last year at Ole Miss. But Ole Miss is number 24, and then 25 is Rutgers. So pretty interesting rankings. It's interesting and kind of sad to see that team in Tuscaloosa at number 2, because it's like, y'all had football, man. Give us basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let us be good in basketball, and we are. I think we're kind of underrated.
Yeah, I think we can be sneaky good. Some of these teams ahead of us, but
oh yeah, dude. I mean, we got Janai coming back. We got Dylan Cardwell coming back. 2 absolute stud centers. We got Denver Jones, one of the best shooters he was the best shooter on the team last year. Shot 41% from 3 last season. He's coming back. We got a whole new backcourt. Besides Denver, we got that.
Chad.
And yeah, Chad. Thank you. We cannot forget Chad.
Yep.
That's the goat.
That is
We
the
love you,
goat.
Chad. But we got Miles Kelly, who's a Georgia Tech transfer. Which, by the way, so Denver Jones actually mentioned Miles Kelly. He said that he was a better shooter than Denver Jones was. Denver Jones said that about Miles Kelly. And Denver Jones was one heck of a shooter last season. So if that means we're going to be shooting 23s, we're going to be having 23s a game, bro, I'm all down. I'm down for that.
I'm here for it. It works if you can hit them.
Look, man,
And we got some guys that can hit them. So
I'm telling you, that's what I wanted last year. Is like, I feel like we didn't have, except for Denver, I feel like KD wasn't very consistent from three. Trey Donaldson was he wasn't a shooter. He was a drive point guard. You know, he took mid ranges and he drove the ball to the rim. Aiden Holloway was a wannabe 3-point shooter. Could not shoot the ball. He could not shoot the ball. He's
nope.
buns. He was a bust. That's what he was.
Yep. He still is a bust. He's still bad.
We'll see. I mean, I feel like it would totally be. I mean, it totally makes sense if he went to Alabama and was good. You know.
Yeah.
But
good point.
Yeah. We got brand new backcourt. Got some veteran bigs. It's looking good for Auburn basketball. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
And we're gonna find out pretty doggone quick if we're legit or not. I mean, it's like game 2, Houston. So game 5, Iowa State.
Bro, what if we win all those games? Like, what if we beat Houston, beat Iowa, beat Duke, and beat Purdue?
Where do you think we'd be ranked?
We'd have to be top 2. I mean,
yeah.
Shoot, I've not heard of a team having this hard of a schedule, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm uncultured, but like, I don't know. No, maybe I'm unbasketball cultured. You know, I just watch Auburn and a little bit of other, but like, this is legit. That is a legit schedule, and I love to see it because it's not like football where you lose a game or two and you're out. You know, 2019 Auburn, they went to the Final Four with like 9 losses. So it's like, we have room to lose. We could lose all these games, and I'd be fine with it. We're getting better. It's better playing teams like this than, dang, I don't know. Yeah, I'm playing. Not yet.
Yeah. No, I looked up the schedule to see who our big games were, and it was the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
It's the Yale game.
That is yeah. I mean, last year we were playing Chattanooga, beat them 101-66. Alabama State beat them by 20. UNC Asheville, you know. So it's like, and obviously we will have those games, but I mean, we're gonna have a lot more big deal games. Now, last year we did open up with Baylor. I remember that game. And I thought Aiden Holloway was legit. He actually played really good. Aiden Holloway played really good until the Arkansas game. That was the first SEC play. And once we played the SEC game, it started going way downhill for Holloway.
His 3-point percentage dropped so much during SEC play.
Dude, I think it was like 19 or 20.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
and he would still pull up from like, 25, 30 feet.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Yep.
But
we'll see, man. I mean, it'll be a fun year. I think it'll be a really fun year.
Yeah. Better to be battle ready than unprepared.
Yep, exactly.
Going into SEC play.
Exactly. I mean, I think that is literally the ingredients to a deep run in March Madness is that kind of schedule.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about it, you could play one of these if you make a deep run, you could play one of those teams later on.
Exactly.
Wouldn't hurt having some game film on them. Yeah, sure. Early in the
Yeah.
year, they probably changed a lot, but still. Um,
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Uh, that's kind of all we got written down, Eli. So, it's been a good podcast. Do you want anything else? Do you want to talk about anything else before we go?
I can't think of anything. Just really, I mean, this is a big game for both Auburn and Missouri. Going back to
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
you kind of not a must win for both teams. But I mean, it would be a big win for both teams. Probably
Yeah.
needed.
I would say it's not a must win, but it is a need to win. Like it would be it would be bad if we lost. You know what I mean?
You even say the same for Missouri as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We'll see. Good pod tonight, man.
yeah, it's nice. It's
Good
been what'd you
podcast.
say 8 days since we last
Yeah.
came on. So
Yep. 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 Well, before we go, I want to go ahead and shout out our Instagram and all that will be put on the channel very soon. So y'all go drop a follow to those. Um,
yeah. We're gonna start
yeah.
posting. Don't worry.
Yes, we will. Um, yep. Anything to say before we go?
Nope. War Eagle.
War Eagle. All right. See y'all, man.